Welcome to Military Spouse World 1-to-1, a weekday podcast featuring a military family shaker and mover, helping you navigate this amazing chapter in life. Here's your host, Dave Etter.
On this episode of Spouse World 1-to-1, we meet Amanda Dodson, who is the 2016 Armed Forces Insurance Camp SD Butler Marine Corps Spouse of the Year. She is also a DONA certified doula and the president of Military Birth Resource Network. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
Hello. I am wonderful today.
You are a shaker and a mover in the spouse world. You provide a service or at least a clearinghouse of information. Well, tell me about it. I know you're president of the Military Birth Resource Network. Let's start with that.
Well, I'm a birth doula, and that's kind of often what I get. It's, you must only help in natural birth. So just to explain a little bit about a birth doula, and there's even postpartum doulas out there. We can touch on that if you want to.
Sure, but what does doula mean?
A birth doula is, I'm trained to help women and men to help their partners and their spouses in having a positive childbirth experience. And that's more than just a natural birth experience. For some women, it is having a C-section. For some women, it is having a medicated birth. For some women, it's having a home birth or repeat C-section. In some cases, it is for helping families who are know that they're going to be delivering a stillborn baby. So we cover that aspect of continuous physical, emotional, and informational support during childbirth. Sometimes people think, my mom's going to be there, or my sister, or my grandma, or somebody like that. And that is awesome. That is a really important component to have if that's what the birthing mother wants. But a doula invest a lot of time in taking trainings, continuing education courses, investing into her business, current research, information, all those things that she can bring to the table that maybe a sister or a mother, auntie doesn't bring.
Right, because they have an emotional attachment, whereas a doula, or it sounds like what you're saying is like you're a companion for them, maybe just a support person.
Yeah, of sorts, that we have set through trainings and worked really hard towards our certification to make sure that we're bringing the right information to the table. Compared
to, let's say, mom is there and she's helping daughter out through a difficult birth. Mom could be there going, oh, and, wringing her hands and wringing daughter's hands as daughter is going through really something horrible. But a doula would be there going, okay, here's some advice, here's some resources. We can look into doing this. How are you feeling, et cetera. So you have just enough emotional detachment to be of value, but you are warm and caring and a caregiver to help them feel comfortable and safe because you're there.
Yes, I give you good job.
I'm trying. I've heard the term doula. I've just never really understood what a doula was.
Yeah, and absolutely, and that's very common. It is becoming more of a common name and common use in the birthing community, whereas like back when I had my kids, I had no idea what any of that stuff was or anything. And a lot of people think that, a doula, we deliver babies, we're going to be like midwives and all that other stuff. And we do not do anything medically at all. We are not trained medical professionals.
You're right. A midwife is medically oriented. They
Correct.
Can handle the giving of the medicines, taking the vitals, actually delivering if necessary. Wow, okay.
So we don't replace the medical staff. We do not make decisions for clients. We do not intervene on their clinical care. We're there to provide the emotional, informational support while respecting the family or really the woman's decisions during birth.
So to get certified, what did you have to do? I mean, what is your certification is what?
I'm certified through DONA International Doulas of North America. There are several certifying organizations out there. That's the one that I chose to go through when I first started back in 2008 out in California. So DONA, each organization, I can't answer for all of them because I'm not certified through them. Some of them have different certifying requirements. For DONA International, they have an in-house training that you have to set in. You have to take a breastfeeding course. Oh, Lord, you have to do a minimum number of births to become certified. You have to do, when you work with the family, you have to do reviews, get stuff from the providers or doctors and have them review you. And then you turn all that stuff in. It could take anywhere from 6 months really to a year to get certified. And then you have to take continuing education to keep up your certification, all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty involved.
It can be. Yeah, it definitely can be. And I mean, there's other avenues like online and all that stuff because there are, like in our situation overseas for other, spouses who are overseas that are looking into becoming a birth doula, in-house trainings are always an option for them because you have to have a certified trainer come and teach. So there's online options as well.
So now where are you located?
I just moved back to North Carolina. Well, not back to, it's my first here on the East Coast here at Camp Lejeune. I just went back to the States. So we were in Okinawa for actually 6 years this time, and we were there for 7 years before. So we're glad to be back stateside now.
You are the owner of Oceanside HypnoBirthing-Doula, Jacksonville, right there in Camp Lejeune. Is that?
Yes, that was recently updated.
So I'm looking at the new stuff. Good.
Yes. Yeah, you're keeping up to date. But yes, that's my personal business, Oceanside Hypnobirthing and Doula Services. And yeah, just, being here in the Jacksonville area.
So what is hypnobirthing?
Oh, boy. What is hypnobirthing? The question of the day.
It sounds mysterious. We all want to know.
Y'all want to know. Well, I tell people to not get caught up on the name. It is a method of childbirth education, kind of like Lamaze or the Bradley method. When people think hypnobirthing is, I'm going to put a pendulum in front of your eyes and make you go into deep hypnosis and cluck like chickens and take your credit card number.
You're not?
No, I don't do any of that.
Wow.
That's stage hypnosis if somebody's really into that stuff, but not how this works.
Then why would you call it hypnobirthing?
Well, so hypnosis is a form, and with hypnobirthing, it's a form of deep relaxation. And it's teaching your body how to really, relax during labor. It gives you a lot of training techniques, breathing techniques. And in hypnobirthing, we really focus on taking the fear out of childbirth.
Oh.
Fear, tension, pain stuff. When you have fear, your body tenses up. And
right.
There's a whole science behind it. So we talk a lot about that in classes. And once we kind of get that, out of the way and kind of set the foundation for those things, people are like, oh my gosh, hypnobirthing was amazing. And yeah, while it is geared towards unmedicated natural birth, women still use it if they have epidurals or C-sections and that stuff too.
So how did you get the idea of working with hypnobirthing?
It was a friend of mine out in California. I took my doula training with her, and she took the hypnobirthing course, Caremester. I'm sure there's people that may have taken her course that are stationed close to Camp Pendleton out in California. She was like, hey, Amanda, there's a training. You need to take it. And, of course, it was why my husband was deployed to Afghanistan for 14 months. And
hey, there you go. Something to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was an intense course, and I'm glad I took it. And she kind of really helped guide me and got me going in it. And shortly after, we moved back to Okinawa. And that's kind of where a lot of this stuff really just took off, kind of set the stage for where we're at today with the Military Birth Resource Network, with kind of where we're at with, growing this a lot more.
So how does this work in then to the Military Birth Resource Network?
Okay, yeah. This was something that grew out of what initially was the Japan Birth Resource Network. When I got to Okinawa, I think there's another doula on island, and she ended up moving. There's 100 babies born each month at that hospital, and well, from what I found out here at Lejeune, there's 400 babies each month. But I was like, wow, 100 babies, that's a lot. but 400 is a lot. But
it is.
For sure. But, for us over there, being such a small, it's not necessarily a small community, but people have a lot of babies over there. It was something that there was a group of us, most of them were moms or, moms to be, that we started talking about resources and what are our options and what is being offered. And we just started holding little monthly get-togethers where we would invite expectant families. We would talk about birth. We would talk about options. We would talk, just empower families. What's a doula? We talk about hypnobirthing. We talk about anything. Eventually the base, because we were using the base facilities, was like, no, you can't do that anymore in our building. So we were, it wasn't so much of what we were teaching. It was just using the facility and not having kind of that nonprofit private organization.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's what pushed us to become a private organization. Through the base, kind of got us quote unquote official. And over time, we just grew. It was a lot of work. I've learned a lot. Setting this up from scratch. We've had a lot of ladies come and go that really love this and want to make a change. Was it last year? I wanted to take what we established there because I knew eventually, sooner or later, I was going to have to leave the island. And I wanted to take what we had done there and bring it to the States and really establish it around the world, because things that we were noticing is that families were the continuity of care. Because our lives, we come and go, care providers come and go, and there's that continuity, especially overseas. You're going to have somebody, let's say that's an RN that teaches childbirth education classes there at more new parent support, but then they leave and you don't have anybody to fill the gap. And because there's I don't have to be a registered nurse to teach hypnobirthing, but through some on-base programs, they do require certain things for you to be. So people wouldn't have anything.
It's kind of like they want to be able to refer you.
Yeah.
But to refer you, you have to be in the medical network, which is TRICARE driven, which is a nightmare in itself. And
it can be. It can be. Yeah. But fortunately, because we were a private organization, they are able to recommend us as a resource, not like, hey, here's Amanda over here at Oceanside Hypnobirthing. They can't promote me as an individual, but they can promote our private organization, our nonprofit as a whole.
I know Kit Jenkins, who I did an interview with on the first week. I think she's like my second or third episode of Spouse World 1-to-1.
Okay.
She mentioned that some of the stuff that doulas did, and we didn't get much into it because we were talking baby wearing.
Yeah.
But, it was great to get that, because that put you on my radar.
Oh, awesome.
So if anybody wants to become a doula or to get some more information, how can they get a hold of you? What's the easiest way?
Well, the easiest way would be to find the Military Birth Resource Network. We have a Facebook page. The easiest way would probably either be to message us on Facebook, or you can go right to our website at militarybirthresourcenetwork.org, and you can email us to contact at militarybirthresourcenetwork.org.
Cool.
And to become a doula, if you would like to become a DONA doula over in Japan, we are having a training that one of the ladies in our network is teaching. If somebody wants to become a doula in general, they may be able to just do research about what trainings are being offered in their area. We do not at this time host anything specifically. Our hope is to start getting training stuff at the bases that are designed specifically more for military communities, military and moms who want to become doulas, or maybe service members. We have a few active duty moms who are doulas as well that can fit that into their schedules, and men can be doulas too if they want. It just so I'm not trying to be gender specific, but
maybe a husband-wife team could be an option with doula trained. That's an idea. I guess people could think about it.
Yeah, you never know. Sky's the limit.
Yes, it is. Well, will you be at IMSOI this year?
No, I won't. I really wished I could have been with us moving here.
Everybody's just going to have to get their fill of Amanda Dodson by listening to this podcast while we're doing our IMSOI stuff.
That's right.
There you go.
That's right.
Works for me. All right. Hey, Amanda, thank you very much for joining us
welcome.
on Spouse World 1-to-1. It has been a pleasure. If you get any updates or anything that you would like to tell more people about, or maybe some special trainings or seminars coming up, feel free to schedule another interview. We can talk again. I'm sure there's things we missed.
Oh yeah, I got a whole story book full.
Cool. Let's do it. All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Military Spouse World 1-to-1 is a BDE Productions podcast. The views and opinions of the host or any of the guests are not that of BDE Productions or sponsors. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to Spouse World 1-to-1.